Hi, everybody. Good day. How is everybody doing today? I hope everybody's having a fantastic Wednesday. Welcome again to another episode of Conversations with Echo. This is actually our sixth episode. So, again, I'm always very excited, it would seem, but this show for me is one that I believe everybody should be able to, um, feel a connection with. We all have youngsters that we encounter once in a while. Maybe some of us have children. And I believe that the children obviously are our future, and we need to be teaching them ways to live in concert with the environment, as well as, things that they can do on a daily basis. So, again, welcome. I am Shelly Ann Dunkley. I am the founder of Live Echo, and Live Echo is a media company which pretty much focuses on environmental awareness as well as environmental consciousness. So today's show, Conversations with Echo, we will be talking about educating our children about the environment. It is a fortnightly chat. So every 2 weeks, we're back here Wednesdays at 8, and we'll be looking at various topics. Our viewers reached out to us and tell us, some of the things that they want to hear. So our previous shows, you can check our YouTube, and we will see episodes with various topics that we've spoken about: food security, energy, etc. This is an open space, so please feel free to share your comments and your thoughts. We want to hear from you. Any question that you have, be sure to ask. We want to make sure that all your questions are answered so that you walk away feeling fulfilled and you walk away with nuggets of information so that you can take that into your daily lives. All right? Going green. Going green is easy. It's simple steps that you can take every single day. Don't think of it as an all or nothing. There are basic things that you can do in your home, at your office, your church, wherever you are, in whatever space you feel comfortable. Start right there. Whatever field that you're in, do basic things as well, whether it's recycling, whether it's talking to people about simply disposing of your trash properly. That is something that we actually take for granted. So let us do that on a daily basis. Um, Tonight, like I said, we're going to be looking at ways to talk to our children, the various age groups, little ones to the older ones, talking to them about the environment. And we have two educators with us today, and we also have a super fantastic guest tonight. I'm really excited to speak with this guest. I'm not going to tell you who it is. So we're looking forward to having that conversation. We want to help mold eco-conscious and environmentally aware individuals. We can all agree the state of our environment needs improving. We didn't create all the problems, but we can help find solutions today and develop a generation or create a generation that can help make further improvements. So let us invite our first guest. Her name is Brittany Singh Williams. Let me bring up her picture. She is our first guest tonight, and let me bring her on. Hi, Brittany. How are
Hi,
you?
Shelly. Hi, Echo guests.
Thanks for joining us today.
No
Really
problem. I'm really
excited to have
excited
you
about
on.
it.
Oh, great. All right. So tell us a little bit about the work that you do, and tell us a little bit about Brittany. I know a little
Okay.
about Brittany, which is why I reached out to you. So you tell us on our viewers a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm Brittany Singh Williams. I'm the founder of Spark Education, which is a learning ecosystem that creates learning experiences for families. I like to say that I create 21st century experiences that teach kids not only what they need to know in school, but life. Life skills and soft skills are often ignored or don't get as much features as they should in the academic space. And I'm really passionate about it because me, Brittany, has just have had so much experiences to travel the world and meet different people, and I'm always so disheartened when I don't see
Yeah.
young Caribbean people in those spaces with a
Yeah.
voice and making
Yeah.
a great impact. Yes, you see Caribbean people all over the world working, but we really want, our voice to really matter, and that's really why I kind of got into this space and just want to help young people kind of understand what it takes. It's not just about the A's and the B's in school. There's so much more
Exactly.
about building up the whole person that makes you a human being that's going to thrive in the modern world.
Yeah, lovely. I love how you put that. I mean, there's so much that we need to teach our children. Like you said, it's not just about the A's and B's, and it's not just, book knowledge. There's so
Mm-hmm.
much more to us as humans, and
Yeah.
how we interact and how we engage, and how we impact the environment as well. And I think there's a lot for us to learn even at our age, and there's a lot that we can impart upon the youngsters. So, all right,
Yeah.
so how did you become passionate about the environment?
Well, as would have shared with you before, I was not always passionate about environment. I kind of was one of those persons in the office that would look at, and there was one girl in specific, and I actually sent her to you the other day. She would always be like, "Why are you using styrofoam? Why are you doing this?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, green police." Like, she would actually go to the cook lunch place with her own container, and I'm like, "This is too
Wow.
much," right? So earlier this year, before COVID, I was selected to attend the World Economic Forum's Davos in Switzerland. And that is where all the world leaders and decision makers come together once a year to determine what different governments and what the actions are for the world in order for everybody to be aligned, essentially. So I was selected, one of 50 young people who were selected to attend, all expenses paid. It was really amazing.
Woo!
And that's because I'm
Love
a
it.
global shaper. I'm a global
Okay.
shaper of the Kingston Hub. So I got there, and all the topics were about climate change, and so I was kind of like forced to sit in these sessions. But one session in particular, I signed up for, and I got in and I was seated beside the Prince of Monaco, and it was very intimate and
Wow.
like amazing. Like, people like kings and queens, and are sitting beside these people. And the guest speaker was Mike Horn, and it was the first time I had ever heard of this man. He is a adventurer. He takes young people to the craziest parts of the world every summer and has them trek like through the Amazon and does just things that challenge his body to the extreme. And he decided to share his story about going to Antarctica last year. He went to Antarctica. This was his third trip. He said that the first trip that he made to Antarctica, it was like it was great. That was about 8-10 years ago. You could still see that the ice caps were melting, but nothing too big. This time, he said that this would be his last time he'd go because the ice shelves, which the shelves are actually pieces of ice that surround Antarctica, that you can probably walk on to get to the actual landmass, right? That's where, polar bears and all of that, that's where you'll find them. Once he got on the shelves, he thought he was going to die on his way to Antarctica because it had gotten so thin that, if he made the wrong step, he would have just fell in and died. And he said that there were so many close calls that he knows that he can't go back to Antarctica again. He's one of the only people in the world who have ever crossed the entire continent.
Wow.
By himself on foot, like madness. But he said that the amount of dead polar bears that he saw, how thin the ice shelves were, it was just so alarming the way he told the story. Now, following that session, I go into another session with scientists who are talking about the importance of why the melting of these shelves and what that actually means for the world. And what that actually means is that the waters are getting warmer. And if the world goes to 2 degrees higher, we're all basically, screwed. And we're now at like 1 degree. And when it melts, the ice shelves melt out, and then the water rises, right? But what was the most alarming was when somebody asks, okay, so who's going to be impacted first? What's the first impact? And the scientists, all the scientists, these are the top scientists of the world. They were like, the Caribbean is the first to get hit.
Yep.
They're gonna see increased flooding. So at that point, I was like, what going on here? So like,
like who you talking to?
what you mean? Like, me I got dead soon. Like, so
Yep.
that was honestly, that was like, I cried in that session, and I actually went up
Yeah.
to one of the scientists after, and I was like, what would you have for young people? What would you advise young people in the Caribbean to start doing? And she was just like, you need to start thinking about climate refugees, how that's going to be handled in your countries. Are your countries even talking about that in terms of policy? What is your climate refugee plan? And also, what is your mitigation plan? Are you going to start building houses on stilts? How high are they going to be? Like, are these discussions actually happening? And I was like, I've never heard this before. Like,
Yeah.
I don't hear anybody talking about this. We're still talking about, let's recycle, instead of actually talking about mitigation. So that's what would have ignited the article that I wrote a few months ago, that I was like, guys, we need to wake up. Like, the argument is not about whether or not we're going to recycle right now. It's how are we going to survive what is coming? Because as my Corin indicated, the ice shelves are melting. And it was actually on BBC last week that another one has completely separated. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, that was an interesting introduction for you. Like, you were thrown in, like, in the deep end and forced to swim. But I mean, it also helps you to understand the gravity of the situation. But at the same time, you as an educator, how is it that how are you able to impart this knowledge to youngsters? Even your own son. How do you communicate that? Because you don't want it to be a all or nothing. If we don't do this now, we're going to die. So how do you impart that knowledge on them?
Well, most of the interactions I have with young people who are around 5 to 12 years old is all about developing critical thinking and problem solving skills. So what I do is just show them what the problems are and have them generate solutions, because that's the point.
Nice.
We need our people to start thinking about how we're going to solve the problem when we have climate refugees, what we're going to do. Like, we need our young people to start thinking like that. So primarily I use the SDG goals to do most of my lessons, and it guides that. And for those that don't know, we have quite a few SDG goals in different areas, but the ones specific to the environment are clean water and sanitation, clean energy, what else? Affordable energy, climate action, life below water, and life on land. So those are the kind of topics that we discuss and we look at all the time. I don't know if many people know, but there's something called the SDG community has created something called the world's largest lesson. Anybody can Google it, and this is another thing parents can do later. But the world's largest lesson has hundreds of activities and lessons plans around these specific activities that people can do. One of the most interesting ones I've done with my students is looking at food security and how we eat from the land and from our own countries and farming and things like that. So like, one activity I've had them do is I get like a paper plate, a biodegradable one, and have them draw their favorite dish on a piece of paper before they get the thing. And then I say, okay, now like, look at the food groups, and we study what the food groups are. Now you need to use Play-Doh and whatever tools that we have to fill your plate with things that are from the land, and thinking about the journey of where their rice would have come from, what can we replace that, and we have a whole lesson and conversation about that. So doing it in fun, interactive ways without them really realizing, oh, I'm saving the environment. We have those discussions, but they do it in a way where they're like, wow, this is really cool.
Wow, that's interesting. I like how you've actually put that, because they are, I don't want to say forced, but they are thinking about it, critical thinking, like you're saying, and that's very important now. Well, I mean, my question is, do they enjoy it? But the way you've actually played it, I like how that sounds. So I would figure that the kids love it too. So what kind of feedback you get from them when they're doing that?
They love it, and most importantly, they have to demonstrate it and explain it to their parents. So they get lots of joy out of being able to understand, like, explain every step of the way and why they're going to stop eating what they're going to eat, which they probably don't. I don't know. Once again, it comes back to like what's modeled at home. and
Yeah.
what keeping things consistent. So it's great to
Mhm.
learn it, but once they go home, it has to be consistent.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. All right. So, what are some of the things that the kids actually do to keep the environment healthy? I know we're actually not in one place right now as it relates to schooling, but what are some of the things that you do at school? Like, do they have a recycling area? Is there anything you grow like backyard gardening or anything? I spoke with Andrew earlier, and he mentioned that Plant Jamaica. That's something that he's doing with some of the parents, so
Mhm.
is that something that you do with the kids as well?
Well, right now, in terms of like garbage in the classroom, we do try to like recycle and be
That's
really
very
neat
important.
about that.
Yeah.
But we're not doing any kind of projects, outdoor projects right now. What I
Yeah.
actually have them doing for my students, I'm teaching a lot of grade 4 students in different pods right now, and
Mhm.
they are assigned different ministries of their own community. So each one has an
Wow.
environment minister who has to, by the end of the term, demonstrate how he's helped to their community, and they're building a 3D model and showing how they're integrating something for saving the environment in it. So that
What are the
minister
age
will,
groups again?
oh, they're in grade 4, so they're 8, 9.
Minister. Okay. Good,
But
good.
you would be so, honestly, sometimes I sit down and listen to them proving their point or explaining their point to each other, and I'm like, you guys are gonna make amazing leaders one day. And it's funny,
Yeah.
before we had this session, somebody said, the way kids are now, even though it annoys you, later on in life, you really want them to have those skills. Like, honestly,
Yes.
sometimes I look at them
Yeah.
and I'm like, I really hope nobody kills this spirit in you, because
Yeah.
you
That's
can
so
change the
important.
world.
Yeah.
So
No, it's true.
yeah, and
Yeah. So many
they
things can happen.
yeah, what makes it exciting is, like, when I was doing Spark Lab, I actually had real
Mhm.
companies, CEOs partner with me, so the kids were working for them, so they were so excited because they had to
Wow.
present. So we actually did a water company in Jamaica, um,
Instant
instant
save. Oh, Leanne,
yeah,
she's
yeah, yeah,
actually on
Leanne,
here
yeah.
too.
Okay, so yeah, Leanne came in, and the kids had to present to her how they were going to convince people in their school how to conserve water. So they did that through
Wow.
skits and all of that kind of thing. So they love the idea of a real boss coming, and so I told them, you guys are you have real clients, you can't let them down. So they
Oh,
enjoy that.
that is too exciting. All right. So before we wrap up, we're gonna have another guest coming on, and you introduced me to this superstar, is what I call her. What are some of the tips that you will give parents so they can, since most of them are homeschooling right now, or kids are at home, what are some of the tips that you can give the parents to help them teach their youngsters about caring for the environment?
Well, the first thing is, you have to lead by example. You have to demonstrate that this is a lifestyle. This is how the family is going to operate. It can't just be like, well, why not recycling when it's not even set up in the home for you to do it?
True,
I
true.
think spending a lot of time outside is so important. I really don't like to cut a sun hot. It's really hot. My son is like a naturopath and demands it. So
Yeah,
I make sure that he's outside all the time, and we're looking at the plants and the leaves and breathing in fresh air as young as 2, because they need to develop an appreciation for it, for nature. And give them chores around it, like, how are we going to classify our recyclables? How can we calculate how much money we're going to make when we trade it in, and what can we use that for? And you can do
yeah.
things like composting, or turning off lights, as simple as that, and talking
As
about
simple
how
as
that's
it sounds, yeah.
so
Yeah,
yeah, just making it part of your lifestyle is the
yeah.
major tip.
Beautiful. I love it. Do we have any questions for Brittany before she runs off? I'm actually not seeing any questions. Everybody is great work. Khadijah says great work. Leanne, here we go. Was very impressed with the work that the youngsters did. Um, okay, so I'm not seeing any questions. So thank you, Brittany. What I'm gonna do is ask you to stay backstage, and I will now invite our superstar to join us. Actually, no, we'll keep you on here so that we can talk. We'll keep you on here.
Okay.
Let's do that. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Okay, everybody.
Hello. Hi, Shelly. Hi, Brittany.
Let me introduce.
Hi, everyone. Good night.
Okay, so Stephanie's mommy Stephanie, and then we have superstar Sonny. Hi, how are you doing tonight?
We're
Thanks for
good.
joining us.
We're trying to
so
stay
glad that
awake.
you're here. I know. Okay, I won't keep you very long,
We're doing
Sonny, because we had a. Okay, Sonny, I hear you love the environment. Can you tell me what you love about what do you love about nature? What do you love about nature?
We did this question yesterday.
Yes, we did.
I like climbing trees and picking my own fruits and swimming.
What fruits you said you had? Remember, I said I was going to move in because you have some pretty awesome fruits.
Yeah, what were all those fruits?
We have mulberries.
Ooh.
We
Star
have,
fruit.
yes, and we have oranges right now.
Sugar cane.
You didn't tell me about the sugar cane last time. I'm telling you, I'm moving in.
Yes.
Yes.
Why is it important? Sonny, why do you think it's important for us to care for the environment?
Yesterday. Because if there's no environment, there's no us.
Exactly. And I love how you put that. Say that again one more time so everybody hears you.
It's a good one.
If there's no environment, there's no us.
Exactly. And I love that. Thank you for saying that. All right. So do you think other people should care about the environment too? Yeah, right? Everybody should, because like you said, if there's no environment, there's no us. So what do you and mommy do to keep keep nature clean? What do you do?
What do you do?
We
Beach cleanup.
yeah. I let my mom take this.
Okay, all right. Mommy can say it.
Well, we have lots of friends that we clean up with and do things with. And most recently, we did a beach cleanup at a friend's place at the beach. And really, just even things in our own yard. I mean, sometimes you step out your front gate and there's trash there. So we do a lot of that together, I think, to clean up. But then also we do a lot of things just in our home to not just clean everything up, but get ahead of that. You know, we can't just be there picking things up, although our children do have a really, really big mess to clean up. But we look for ways to be the change. So the trash doesn't have to end up. So we carry water bottles. I know, Brittany, you were saying about your friend carrying her own Tupperware to the cook shop. I mean, those things sometimes, you know, we have straws, we have silverware, you know, we think about ways how we can contribute. Yes, we can. We plant trees, we try to contribute, we try to grow our own food. What else? Sonny has a story now to share.
Oh, yes, Sonny.
One time we went to the beach, and I know one of my friends is watching that I did it with.
Say hi. Who is your friend?
Malachi.
Hi, Malachi.
And one
So
time
your story.
we went to Wiki Wacky Beach, and that was after we had the beach cleanup. And the beach was already trash.
Yeah.
So I ran up. I was like, Malachi, I think we need to get a bag and beach clean. And he was like, yeah. So we went and ran to the truck and got the trash bag. And like less than 5 minutes, our bag was already filled.
Yep. That's crazy. That's crazy, Sonny. But I love the fact that you keep doing it every single time. Thank you so much for the work that you do. That is amazing. You and Malachi, thank you guys so much. All right, mommy, you tell us. Tell me, did you grow up with this awareness? Was that something that was always instilled in you, or I know in talking to a friend of mine, she said when she had kids, it kind of drove her to want to do more. So was this something that you grew up with?
I wouldn't say I necessarily grew up with this big environmental awareness. I think things weren't like they are now, like Brittany was explaining, we're in an emergency situation. So I think things are in our face. They're way more prevalent. They're way more urgent now than they were. So yeah. I didn't grow up with that sense of my parents talking about that. But I did grow up doing a lot of things outside. And I think that's what connected me to it. So then when I had children, or, I was in my 20s and you start realizing things, I knew that I already loved and cared for the environment. So it was really easy for me to say, or it would just happen that I knew that I needed to take part in it. So.
Okay. I see Sonny is a little tired. So, Steph, one last question, and then Sonny, we're going to go night-night, right? Yeah? All right. One last question, Steph. What would be some of the recommendations you have for parents, who want to help their kids be more eco-conscious like Sonny? Even though I think Sonny drives you, you drive her, so what would you say to parents?
Well, I think the biggest thing for us is it wasn't necessarily a decision, or we didn't approach it like your child comes to you and says, oh, I'm really interested in skateboarding or learning to bike, or, we didn't necessarily treat it like this thing that we had to lay out and formalize and teach. I think that we just always acknowledge that our environment and nature is a part of us. And like Sonny says, if there is no environment, there is no us. So there's not really a choice in integrating your child into nature. And I think we just always involved her in outdoor activities and swimming and surfing and doing the things that she loved to do. And we didn't necessarily try to guide or be in a certain way. We tried to give her the freedom and the space to be however she wanted to be in nature and to cultivate her own connection, whether that's playing music outside, whether that's being artistic outside, whether
climbing a tree with your ukulele.
Ukulele, I remember that. And what is that? What is that?
I think letting them be however they want to be outside so that they can connect to it authentically and not try to make it a certain way. So,
or winning your surf contest.
Congratulations, Sonny. That's amazing. All right.
Yeah, so we try to let her play. We try to let it be free. But we also try to involve her in the activities. We do the beach cleanups. We're involved in the Jamaica Surfing Association. So also trying to build the community of other like-minded people to start to get that collective so our child can see that and connect the dots between the care and the love and then, their duty really to take part.
Yeah, I see that Andrew pointed out also that you have a very eco-friendly diet at home, and that's something I've also observed. Like they always, there's no trash with their food, and they make popsicles with it, and I always stock Stephanie. So
but
I think I was going to say one more thing. One thing I think that we do try to do as a family that's really fun and kind of can become an activity is before we go out and buy things, right? Because it's not just about picking up trash. It's not about recycling, because that all has to still go somewhere. When it leaves your door, it does not really leave. We all know that. So I think before we go out and buy stuff, we're shifting the way that we're a consumer as a family and thinking of alternative ways that we can do things. Everybody's growing their own food, I see, going through this quarantine situation and coming up with all of these creative ideas, and they turn into fun and business ideas and that critical thinking for kids. So for us, I know anytime we need something in the house, we always ask ourselves, is it something that we can make? Is it something that we can recycle? Is it something that we truly need? So I think we try to have those conversations with our children and out loud as a family, whether it's, you know, what did we recently make? A curtain rod, you know, that we made from bamboo. Or, you know, whatever it is, you know, is it something that we really, really need? Because sometimes all that stuff ends up becoming trash.
Or you could make a skateboard out of wheels.
Nice. Yes. Yeah, no, but it's thinking about it. You're thinking about it. Ashley wants to know, Sonny. Ashley wants to know, what's your fave eco meal that mommy makes?
That was her favorite. What was that?
What's her favorite eco meal that mommy makes?
Eco meal. Like that we grow, or?
Yeah. Is there any? Mulberry. Okay, got it. That works. No.
Which
guavas?
Both of them.
That's fine. That works.
Picking all her guavas, but we did just have stew peas tonight that we picked every single one of those peas. So appreciation for the food and what goes into it, and farmers and nature, like it really changes things. So.
And dumplings.
You know, Sonny, I know we are best friends because my middle name is Dumpling. My middle name is Shelly and Dumpling. Yep. Mm-hmm. All right. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Brittany, if you wait backstage, Steph, I think you might have to put Sonny to bed. So thank you for being here.
Thank
Sonny,
you.
I'm gonna send you something really special. Okay.
That's cool. Good to see you, Brittany.
Guys.
Same here.
Thank you.
All right, bye. All right. Wow. So that was our superstar, Sonny. She's just a firecracker. I love her. So our next guest is Miss Natasha Parchment Clark. She's going to be talking to us about the work that she does with the older young adults. I don't want to say children, because you know, once they pass a certain age, they're no longer children, they're young adults. All right, Natasha, thank you for joining us. Tell us a little bit about the work that you do.
Sure. Good evening, Shelly, my lovely green friend, and everybody who signed in. Oh, how can you come after Sonny? I mean, what a gem.
She's amazing.
So I do lots of work in Montego Bay with young adults. So high school, college, young professionals. And the main group of youngsters that I have is through Rotary International. So interactors and rotaractors from age 12 to 18 in high schools interact, and 18 on up in Rotaract. And boy, from that, just it spreads and multiplies with Science Club, Environment Club, 4-H Club at schools. And Natasha, can this person come? Yeah, come along. And you just, anybody who wants to come, you know, and the fact that once you say, look, there's a project, something's happening, can you come along early on a Saturday morning? And you can get hundreds of young people. It really shows you there's not much going on. If they will come to garbage, you know? So they're vibrant, they're spirited, they're educated, they're interested. They know what's happening. They know the mess that's been created. So they're just here to fix it.
Okay. All right. So I know I posted a clip of you earlier today, and you spoke about why you became so passionate about the environment and kind of what drives you. But tell us, in this space right now, why did you become so passionate about the environment?
You know, I grew up sitting on my dad's knee looking at the pictures in National Geographic. My children grew up watching Nat Geo on my knee. And then again, once you have children, it changes everything. And I thought, whoa, what's happening? And, you know, as we started getting plastic bottles more in Jamaica, no more D&G glass bottles, soft drinks, I thought, oh, hold on. And then you just started to see the mess everywhere. And honestly, young persons, young adults, younger, even Sonny's age, they want to have fun doing anything at all. So if you can make it fun, and whilst you're out there having fun, doing your beach cleanups, getting, you know, free bag, free t-shirt, enjoying the activity. It's sinking in. I have a lot of parents that come to me, especially of the younger Sonny age, like, what have you done to my child? I can't go anywhere without my bag, reusable bottle. And then my heart swells when I see my young teenagers now going off to college, marine biologists, environmental studies, really doing, from volunteering at Montego Bay Marine Park, their career is going to be saving this planet, which just, I think, I wonder if I was part of just having them think about that. And it's great. It's a great feeling.
Oh, that's lovely. I love to hear that. And there is that level of, I guess pride, where you feel proud of the work that they're doing, but at the same time, it's humbling for you, because just like you said, you're just like, did I, just a little thing, did I help you make that choice? But kudos to you for the work that you've done. But one of the things I wanted to touch on, because, with so many devices and social media at our youngsters now, how do you keep them captivated? How do you engage them? Or even how do you make that first step?
Something fun. Food will attract any young person. They eat a lot.
Natasha, you don't bribe the people, them children, with food.
I tell you, if you partner with the right people, you get drinks, you get food. Have an element of competition. All right,
okay,
this school is coming, this club versus that club. Which school is going to have the most people come at the same time? And when I say come around, they're going to beach cleanups is my favorite activity. So third Saturday of every September, ICC beach cleanup. We're doing it 10 years. 2016, we had over 1,000 young people cleaning beaches across Jamaica. I was in tears. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But how do you not get them excited? They're calling you. Can we bring this group? Can we bring friends? Can we all wear this color t-shirt? What can we do? They're looking for the data. Once you have done an event and then you present, this is what you collected. This school collected this much. This group collected this much weight of garbage. When the ban on plastic bags, straws came in, literally the amount of calls and, Natasha, we did it, because over the years of cleaning up beaches and being conscious, we feel that presenting that data made persons in decision-making say, this has to stop. Look at the hundreds and thousands of plastic scandal bags across Jamaica. But, if you're energetic, if you're grateful, you're glad to have them. Thank you so much for coming, guys. Make them feel important. That what you're doing is valuable. We appreciate it. And they love it.
That's extremely important. Yeah, because you also want to have them feel connected to the cause. And it's not necessarily a cause in the sense that, it's something that you contribute today and then tomorrow you forget about it. It's something that will impact your life. You're in the future.
Yes.
You are the future. So having this conversation or being a part of this activity today, you need to continue it and you need to make the change. Like Brittany was saying earlier, in terms of critical thinking, what are some of the solutions that they can come up with? 9-year-old minister.
I love that. And you listen to them. They will call you. Do you know that Plastic Free July? I'm like, what is that? 8 million people around. I'm like, what? And it's fantastic. It's fun, and set up a challenge around it. Invite everybody to, if you ask questions and listen to what they would like to do, if you match some of the things that every student has to have community service hours to graduate from high school.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what are you gonna do? Go and work at the local public service company? No, come on, do some beach cleanups, volunteer, go to the St. James Infirmary. Let's go, do something else. Let's think about other things that are going to help you and open your eyes to something different. So if you kind of match it to what they're doing as well, that definitely works.
Yeah. But not just that, in terms of what even Sonny said, if there's no environment, there's no us. So you can work for, whatever entity that you want to work for, but if there's no environment, there's no product, there's no food for you to eat. We need a healthy environment.
exactly. It used to be like, oh, please, what are you doing? And now it's trendy.
Yeah.
So people, they want to come, oh, look, I have my reusable straw, my bambusa straw, or, oh, I have a, my container, reusable drinks container. So they kind of, it's hip to actually be involved in the environment now. So that's another thing, and once you post pictures or when they're in groups together, having meetings, partnering with, there's a fantastic teacher, Miss Stewie, Nordia Stewart at Herbert Morrison Technical High School, head of the science club. I mean, energy bunny, right? When you partner with her, she said, we want to do this. I'm like, all right. I call, a private company, or we get NSWMA involved, and then the event turns huge. Tree planting. We got 100 trees from the forestry department and planted them last year, National Tree Planting Day. It was in the rain. They don't care. They were out there because people.
And tree planting, National Tree Planting Day is
next
October,
Friday.
the first Friday. Is it first Friday in October?
First Friday in October. Sorry, Friday after next. Yeah, we'll do that. And they're giving away heaps of plants. Contact the forestry department. They give them away, and then you just go in, and then all the clubs come together because Science Club want now. And, so I think once you show that you're willing to take a small step, people will join in. They give you some great ideas, things that you're not thinking of. I believe that, environmental studies should be a subject. You have maths, English, environmental studies. It's not an elective club that you join on a Monday evening after school. No, it should be taught creatively.
But is this, are you thinking like environmental science or just
the environment?
Environmental awareness, so you can all the various topics. Yeah.
Notes like I'm in school here, and I'm seeing, what is being done with our such young children at this point. We need to be doing that to the young adults in high school. We need to be explaining to them the economic forum, the places that they're going, that type of, it's interesting. Get scholarships for them to visit these places, they can converse back about it for sure.
Andrew says plant breadfruit. But that's true though. I mean, people actually don't realize just how important and versatile it is, because I have a breadfruit tree outside here, and I eat breadfruit till I sick, but you can fry it, this, that, and whatever.
Have you had the breadfruit taco? They slice the round and then make it into a taco. It's delicious.
I am going to have that this week. I tell you that much. I'm gonna have it this week. Do we have any questions for Natasha, guys? I see here Andrew Jamaica wanted to know, I guess, how to get in contact with you online. You want to give your IG?
Sure. Natasha Parchment Clark. Boom.
Khadija actually wrote it here.
Oh, thank you, sweetie.
Is it with no? It's not with a dash. It's not with a dot. It's that
no.
one.
Oh, and my Vanna, my daughter's coming in with the correct one. Thank you, Vanna. I think have fun, make it interesting. Show results, show appreciation. Cornwall College boys want to meet up with Mount Alvernia girls. So do an event that has them both meeting in the middle. They'll be there.
And Natasha, you treat them with food. You get the boys' school and the girls' school to come together. I don't know what else you're going to come up with. But if it works. It works. When we had 1,000 youngsters, that was when I realized we have something going in Montego Bay. We realized there is a problem, and we're making changes, and Montego Bay Marine Park have volunteers regularly at their offices, and I've seen so many youngsters go through and end up in the field of marine biology. Even in tourism, a lot of tourism partners, they'll give us a catamaran for the day. You've got to bless the ones who donate and say, and we take out hundreds and thousands of school children on they live in Montego Bay, they've never been on a catamaran. They've been out at sea and looked back and seen their home. Wow. Wow.
And tell me that when that happens to you, you're gonna throw something in the gully tomorrow. You're not going to do it,
No, it's different appreciation.
Once you've seen the awesomeness of nature, glass bottom boat, when I see, teenagers, Jamaicans, we can't swim. So when you have teenagers in a glass bottom boat, seeing a reef, and then I go back and I'm here with the marine park, and then I see that same teenager come back, and next thing you know, they're getting their scuba license. And that, I remember
That's
taking the
amazing.
teenager down, and literally there was salt water outside and salt water inside my mask, because I was literally crying as she was coming down the rope. Big up Yadira, from being to being a marine biology student who had to do be certified in scuba to join her second year. So now everything, they motivate us big people. When you were with
it's true.
your former company, you know how much I would call you. Hey, we need this. Can we get this? What can you do?
No, I love it.
Invite them out. If
once you get the kids involved, once you get the kids involved and they're motivated, they will jump on you like, Miss, let's do this, let's do that. And even seeing them run to go pick up one plastic bottle over there, I'm like, it's a plastic bottle, it's not going anywhere. But it's fun for them, and it engages them, which for me works because they're doing good, and it's whether or not they actually get it, because I'm talking about youngsters, primary school age. They might not get the connection to, a business that's manufacturing, but at the same time, they
form a habit at Sonny's age. So by the time they're the young adults, they have their reusable bottles and they're on it, and they understand why they've been doing it for so long. And when Recycle Partners of Jamaica, they have great competitions in schools, and Jamaicans, we love a competition. Look at us in sport, look at us with music. So once you say, all right, this school against that school, be gone. And they're collecting, and I'm wondering, okay, is this a good thing that they're collecting so many plastic bottles? As my mom says,
well, it goes back to the awareness.
I know, right? My mom says after beach cleanup every year, I don't know if this is good that the figures are so high, but I'm still really proud of you. But we want to stop beach ups. We want to not clean up anything when we go back. But
we shouldn't have to be doing that. All right, let's take Savannah has a question for you. What do you enjoy most about working with the youth? Good question.
Hi, Vanna. So that's my Savannah. I love getting you out of your bed early to volunteer. Every year,
Savannah,
beach cleanup
answer that one. Answer mommy's comment. Just know, getting you out of bed early to go clean up a beach.
But you know what? I would drag them along we started when they were like 9. And 12 years ago, again, I'm a baller. I was like, oh. They're like, Mom, this is my favorite day of the year, said my Vanna. Oh. I'm like, oh my goodness. We do pack up the house for the teenagers, movie night, Milo, wake up early, get everything sorted, because we're coordinating this, dropping off things, gloves, bags, everything. The energy of youngsters, everything is positive. Nobody's looking at what you're wearing. Nobody's giving any adult drama. They're positive, they're kind, they appreciate your efforts. They keep you young. I can't hide my old 50, but boy, I'm 15-year-old inside this 50-year-old's body because of their energy and their passion and their interest, to do things. It's who wouldn't work? Would you rather be in a conference room with 40-somethings or a group of 14-year-olds who are like, we're going to change the world by doing this project this weekend? I'm going to ask him, he works at this place. My mommy will drive all of us in her minibus, and off they go, so.
That's amazing.
A group of teenagers over adults any day.
All right, before we bring Brittany back on to answer, some wrap-up questions, what are a few tips that you would give parents talking about the environment with their young adults, not children, young adults?
Don't lecture. No doom and gloom. Pry, open, ask questions, watch things together. Talk about how it was back in your dinosaur day. When I've been called
ancient. I don't like that one very much, but I've been called ancient. But I'll
I
work with it.
Vanna and her friends were here, and I said, "Boy, they were getting ready to go out when they turned 18." I said, "Boy, the Coca-Cola bottle shape, really?" You know, and they all look. I'm like, "Okay, that's a compliment." And somebody like
They
held
don't
up
get it.
a bottle of Coke, like, "What? I have a shape." I'm like, "All right, you have to go way back in the shape of the bottle."
Natasha, you're gone far. You're gone far.
So you know, we don't need to drill them. We don't need to scare them.
Yeah.
Greta
Yeah.
Thunberg knows what's happening. She's telling all of us what to do. They're following,
Yeah.
they're reading, you know, they're consuming how much they can manage. We
Mhm.
need to ask them, what can I do for you? What are you interested in? How can I help you? How can I serve you as your mommy, as your Auntie Tasha? What would you like to do to make a difference? I'll be there,
Yeah.
you know, and they get
Yeah.
combative. That's what
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
suggest.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna bring Brittany back in. I believe we have a few questions here from our followers or viewers. Let me start with Ashley. I guess both of you ladies, and I'll start with Brittany. How can we get the children to advocate for change? Great question, Ashley. It's their future, their voice needs to be heard. Wow, Ashley, that's a good one.
Well, first of all, they need
Brittany,
to
let's
know
start
that
with
there.
you.
Yeah, as I was saying that first of all, they need to know
Yeah.
that there's a problem. We assume that they know that these things are going on and that there's actually an issue. I mean, as I said, I was not aware until January of this year. So why would we expect our children to know as well? So that's the first step is enlightening them, opening their eyes. I mean, there's so much content out there, and what is it that they're actually taking in? We need to really take a close look at that and how they're interpreting that information. They're just going to school and learning the content to study for an exam. They're not learning it to process it and make it part of their lifestyle. So
Yeah.
What
True,
we
true.
do, there's a Rotary project called the Butterfly Storybook. It's been going about 10 years, where we ask children in the Caribbean to submit a short story. And what we've done this year, the theme needs to be, you know, something green, my green
Okay.
Caribbean. We have a photo competition for young adults. Great, you know, so put the things that they do that are fun or that they're interested in, adding this green element. Then they start like, okay, I wonder why they chose that as the topic. And then they start looking around and becoming aware
Yeah.
that, okay, I can't take a beautiful scenery, you know, picture because there's so much garbage around. And then it,
Mm-hmm.
out of something that they're enjoying, it just brings in the element of learning it. I totally agree.
Yeah. Brittany, this one is for you. Are there any follow-up actions from the World Economic Forum?
Well, there were a few things that were launched in the World Economic Forum from that event, which I think many people would have heard about the 1,000,001 trees. Like every country is supposed to be growing trees. That was actually launched at the World Economic Forum this year. And I don't really think that us in Jamaica have done a great job at even letting people understand the value in it and why. So the whole point of that activity is to try to reduce the carbon in the atmosphere. The carbon in the atmosphere is what causes the earth to get warmer because of the greenhouse effect. So when we actually explain it that way, then people can understand, okay, well, let me go buy a tree. But when we just say, oh, yeah, we're buying 1,000,000
Yeah,
trees,
go and
nobody,
plant a couple trees around place. Yeah.
yeah, there needs to be proper and intentional marketing around that in our countries. And I mean, the World Economic Forum has done an excellent job at actually sending that information and creating marketing material. There's actually instructions on how to do it. And I actually don't find that here in Jamaica, we have handled that well. I was actually on a committee for it, and I was like, this is a waste of time because nobody's following the actual instructions. So there's quite a few initiatives. They've actually also launched a website where people who are doing climate action projects with the ocean, I think it's called, I have to go back and look, but it's like upskill website. If you look Google or Economic Forum, it should come up. But anybody who's doing ocean projects, you can actually put that in to the website and get funding from people from all over the world. So they're starting with the ocean right now and then expanding with different projects. So
Okay.
I think I have to agree with you, Brittany. But I think there's pockets, Alligator Head Foundation in Portland, there's pockets of great things they're doing, restoring reefs, and there's pockets of things happening in Jamaica, but I don't think they're connected. And we know the impact that we kind of marketed it in a way. I think we need to focus on that for true.
Yeah. Brittany, this one is for you again. How do we play catch up if most of the population doesn't recycle? That's the interesting one. I guess Natasha, you can chip in as well if you have a thought on this.
Well, a big part of climate mitigation is not playing catch up. It's actually putting systems in place to ensure that we can survive when the things actually happen. So a lot of that is us as people holding our government accountable in many different areas, not just the environment, but as a people, we don't hold our government accountable, and we don't speak up about the fact that, okay, why aren't we building houses on stilts? Why are we still building on the waterfront at this point? Why are we going to make those investments at this time when this is something that's going to happen? And if we're making those investments, then how is it going to sustain itself when something happens? When we talk about climate refugees, what are we going to do? Let's say another island has another issue, like St. Martin is basically still completely empty. How are we helping our fellow Caribbean brothers and sisters when something like that happens, and vice versa? We're not having those discussions in a real sense. So until that's done, that's what mitigation looks like. It's not about recycling. Recycling is great and we need to keep doing it, but the bigger problem is the actual policies and systems surrounding climate change right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think if we have the young people involved from the primary age, then they get interested and start educating themselves in the field, then they'll be the ones taking over the jobs to make those changes. So I really think if we at each level that they are, so a story competition in primary, then a photo competition in secondary, and then they start thinking, they go and take their degree, and then they get, they start really being active then. And I think also groups, any large group of people, no matter the age, somebody's going to listen, like, what's happening over there? So if they keep doing projects, and I think recycling is the easiest one to kind of get out there and cause, a bit of stir, then people will actually take notice. And we'll have people like yourself, Brittany, hopefully working in the background to make the policy changes.
Yeah. Just so you see this, Natasha, Savannah says she hates getting out of bed early, but I love doing it for the environment. We've now put it out there to the world. Everyone knows it. Just the FYI. I think this is a statement. Jason actually said, when we have gotten children understanding how to use the energy monitor in a home, we see a dramatic effect on the JPS reduction. No, that is really true. When you introduce that bill to them and they see it and they're just like, oh, this is what I could be doing with this money, there's a drastic change.
Back in 92, when I was working in the hotel industry, I won a competition for reducing, recycling paper in the photocopier. And we said, we need to show the employees of this hotel the JPS bill and the National Water Commission bill. And no, that's our private finances. They ended up showing it to them. Dramatic decrease. Yeah. Because people, put 2 and 2 together. Wow, if I do this, look what happens. I ended up having competitions between departments. At home, again, I have young adults. My daughter pays the bills with my money, but she has to go online every month and pay all the bills.
Yeah.
And when fan on in every room and Netflix, 2 devices plus her 3, my son's 3, my husband 2. Guys, really, Yeah. And it over COVID, that was a real eye opener for them.
Yeah, but it's all a part of the awareness, and thinking, letting them think and see the connection and the connectivity between turning off the lights or having the fan on 24/7 and cooling your bed. Sometimes the fan is just cooling their bed because there's nobody in there.
Noise. So those are noise that lulls you to sleep as a Caribbean person. whenever you
Or
go
the,
on
or
foreign,
the water that's
yeah,
running because it's not hot enough yet. Leanne called me out on that one when we were doing our project.
There you
and
go.
now,
There you go.
but you know what's happening now with hand washing? We're having to now, say you sing happy birthday and what, but not with the water on because
Mhm.
Yeah, I
everybody
actually
is
saw that
using
on
so much
TVJ this
water.
morning, and I was like, "Why is the pipe still on? The pipe is still
Yes.
on. Can we turn off the pipe?" Like I was getting anxiety. I was like, "Please turn off the pipe." Never, never. All right, let's see. Ashley pretty much stated here that October 2nd is National Tree Planting Day. You can reach out to Forestry Department if it is that you're interested in getting any trees. I do believe fruit trees might come at a cost, but it's minimal. It's
250
really minimal.
Jamaican
Yeah,
dollars.
it's not a
250
lot of
Jamaican.
money.
And
Yeah,
if
so
you do a fundraising or, for somebody, I'm hosting somebody's 60th birthday later this month on Zoom, as you do nowadays. And I'm like, instead of gifts, could we please all donate and I'll use that money on a project here. This
yeah,
could be the very project. So people, there's no parties anymore, so no need to buy presents and whatever. Donate and let's do something useful with it.
Something we actually did in Davos was our giveaways were actually seedlings to go home and plant trees. So that could also be like a really cute gift for like your
yeah,
birthday party or something.
Yes,
So
yeah.
yes. I
Beautiful,
have a
beautiful.
calendar of events, green events, and it
Yeah.
basically you pick and choose, and I send them to schools, parents, clubs. Today is actually International Sign Language Day, which Antoinette, our Jamaican Sign Language queen, I'm like,
Yes,
I want to
amazing.
sign as well as she does. But there's International Pizza Day. We don't business do that, but preservation of ozone layer, zero emissions day. Yesterday was World Car Free Day. Things
Yeah,
like this just to get people joining in. And I trust me, if they do it once and then you see how many million people were doing it,
yeah.
you're
hmm,
going to get fed by social
yeah,
media. I mean, this article, look here, think about this, and it will just make people conscious. So there's
yeah.
so much you can do. Every day is another day.
Yeah. All right, ladies. We are on the hour, but I do want to ask you one last thing. Um, Pretty much what is that one takeaway that you want kids and parents to get from our chat today? Tasha, let me start with you.
I don't know if I said it,
One
but
thing.
start small. Start
Yeah.
small. Just do one little thing.
Yep.
It feels so
Okay.
good. Then you're like, what else can I do? That's my
Yeah.
Mhm.
takeaway.
Yeah. All right, Brittany.
Um, for me, it's wow, there's so many. But I mean, making it a lifestyle. Like if this is something you
Yeah.
want to do, then get information and make it a lifestyle and model it because that's the only way kids are gonna learn. If you model that behavior and make it become so natural to them that it's like
Yeah.
there's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. All right, ladies, thank you for joining us today. I think we got quite a few nuggets of information, and we're gonna now take it home and we're gonna teach our kids, show our kids, and lead by example. That is also what is quite important. And get dirty. If it is that you have to get dirty, and whatever dirty is to you, dirt don't actually have to be going outside and rolling in dirt. You could do anything, just do something. Just do something
Yeah.
where the environment is concerned. So thanks for joining us, and I will be in touch.
Wonderful. Thank
Bye.
All right, guys, we are at the end of another show. Wow, I think today was really amazing. Between the superstar Sonny, who is now in bed, I hope, and the ladies that were here with us, between Stephanie, Brittany, and Natasha, I think we all got quite a bit of information that we can all take away. Start small. It's really that simple. Start small, start where you are, start with things that interest you. And that's something that I try to stress to people. You know, if you like makeup, if you're into fashion, there was a chat that I recently was on where I learned about fashion and just how much waste there is from fashion. So that's another thing. Think about the clothing that you wear and what you can do with it. Can you donate it to somebody. So there's so many ways that we can contribute to this. So what we'll do after this is we're going to actually do a wrap up, and we're going to be posting on our social media. So make sure you follow us and subscribe to our page, because we'll also have it on our Facebook as well as our YouTube. We'll have the takeaways, and subscribe to our newsletter. Go on our website, liveecho.com, and you'll be able to get that information sent to you when we send out our newsletter. For those parents interested in teaching your children about the environment and growing foods, please reach out to Plant Jamaica. You can follow them on social media. One very important takeaway tonight: get your children involved and aware about how they impact the environment. The youth are integral, and the seed that you plant today will bear fruit tomorrow. Remember that. You know, Sonny said, I kind of wanted to leave with what Sonny said: if there's no environment, there's no us. So thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.